Give us some more information on the radio show you have, the mental dialogue, and also, your perception on today's media. Because I see, you're in the radio, that's the airwaves, that's heavy, a lot of that's in constant circulation, 24/7. How you feel about today's media?
Okay, absolutely. Mental dialogue. I told you, kind of mentioned the live experience every third Friday here at Urban Grind, but every Saturday morning I have an internet radio show, which is an extension of that live experience. Every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a mental dialogue talk show on Blog Talk Radio. So definitely highly recommend that people get into that. It's pretty much the same concept. Just discussing issues that affect specifically our community. Because I like to say we have the conversations America's afraid to have on race and sex, and amongst other things, but those are typically the topics that we'll deal with every Saturday morning. We also, every third Saturday, do a series that I highly recommend that you at least get tuned into that, which is called Conversation with Smart People. And so we bring on dynamic people, kind of like my man Jerron's doing here, kind of bring people that maybe you haven't heard about, but they're doing these amazing things. So Conversation with Smart People, I've had lawyers, doctors, all type of people, just all walks of life. I'm actually having a sister right now who, this Saturday, she, for example, she takes African American kids and takes them to Africa. That's her nonprofit. So we'll be highlighting her. So that's just an example of every Saturday morning. But to answer your question as far as media and being a part of the airwaves, you're absolutely right. There's major effects when it comes to being exposed to media. Now, in 2017, for example, I have an internet radio show. So for the African American community specifically, I say that the internet is to a certain extent, the great equalizer when it comes to what's happening right now in media overall. So as with a lot of things, one thing that's happened in media is specifically going to TV, for example, we see that now we're down to about 4 major networks as far as who owns everything. So as you see that type of downsizing, unfortunately, it means really more control over what's being disseminated across the airwaves. So when it comes to, for example, watching TV and things of that nature, the messaging that you're getting and who pays the dollars really can kind of control what information you're getting. And so I always tell parents, you definitely want to cut down on for example, your children's watching of TV, because as we have fewer, that means more control of the information. So as I was saying, now when it comes to the internet, if you're not going to watch a lot of TV, then I highly recommend that you go search out the internet TV shows such as Willing TV, because it's an opportunity to get more information than what you're getting, for example, on the TV, what you're used to getting. So obviously seek out my radio show. Even the radio game is like that. It's only fewer companies controlling what you're getting across the airwaves. So for example, we always complain about, quote unquote, the music that our children are hearing across the regular radio. But if you go to satellite radio, you go to internet radio, there are people that are playing all type of uplifting music that you might not hear on the regular radio. So when you're complaining about that, understand that complaint comes from less control. So the internet is the equalizer. Highly recommend, again, that you seek out other media forms in order to get more information. Last thing I'll say about this, and this is really just comes from Dr. Claude Anderson, if anybody's ever seen the video where he talks about, in a sense, how to build our culture. And he talks about these 5 pillars, starting with economics first. But he says the 4th one is media. And so what he says is, how can we get our information to our people if we don't have TV stations, if we don't have radio stations? How can we get out the information to our people that they need? So one thing that I always say is a failing of a lot of movements is not really understanding how to market and the power of media, social media included. Yes, we're taking advantage of it to a certain extent, but I don't know that we really own our concept of coming up with these different movements and truly understanding how to market those movements. You can have the best movement and concepts in the world, but if you don't negate the messaging that our people are getting on TV and regular radio every day, then you're not going to see action. A lot of times we complain about that, for example, our people don't do this or don't do that. Not understanding that some of those actions, for example, lining up to go get Jordans or whatever, a lot of times we say that's a silly thing to do without really realizing how many messages people have gotten to go line up for Jordans. Well, if you want them to stop lining up for Jordans, you need to send out just as many messages, not just say don't do it. It needs to have almost an equivalent marketing media mass production to say, this is not necessary, here's something else you can go buy. So people are starting to do it, but I don't know if movements truly understand how to market themselves. Same thing within business. You have to put forward, the marketing is really the most important aspect from this standpoint. You can have the best product in the world, and nobody knows about it. It's like you have